Hi. So welcome. I'm not sure how many of you are actually going to be watching, and I know that I now have 20 subscribers, which is awesome and amazing, and thank you for being here. First of all, Happy New Year. Today is January 2nd of 2024. If you are like me and you had a rough go of December, don't feel bad about not doing all of the things that need done in order to have a prosperous new year. Because in my opinion, we get multiple tries. There's the new moon that happens in January that can be your first start. If you want to do that, the Lunar New Year. Or you can wait until March when we have the what's it called? The spring equinox, which is on March 19th this year. That can be your fresh start. I fully believe that the wintertime is supposed to be for relaxing, and it is still very much the wintertime. And so that whole manic thing that I know at least happens with me, I'm trying to not have other people feel that way when it comes to the new year and trying new things and setting new goals. It's kind of, I'm trying to do the slow and steady avenue, even though I talk really fast. We do have some big things that are happening this year. Now, just to go through the months, we have January has 16 traditional things happening with the planets, the 7 traditional planets. Then February has 15 events. March slows down, only has 9. April has 12. May has 11. So we're kind of steady with the numbers. Then when it comes to June, we're shooting up to 19 events that happen in June. July has 13. We're back up to a high number of 18 events that are happening in August. September stays busy with 16. And then October has 15 events, so that's pretty busy. November is also busy with 16 events. And then we end the year of 2024 in December with a whole bunch of events too. $18 events in December. Okay, so that whole new year starting in March makes sense, with March only having 9 events and kind of like being kind of slow, and then everything picking up pace from there. No, not tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 3rd. So on January 4th, we have Mars is going to be entering Capricorn, which is Saturn's sign. And by the 4th, I am going to go through and have everything for January. I want to apologize because last year, because it was a hot mess, I was not extremely professional when it came to loading up content for you. And that is my bad. And so clearly this year I have mostly gotten my stuff together because I've gone through the entire year of 2024. I'm not doing it 1 month at a time anymore because that did not work, clearly. And so my goal is to have everything loaded for YouTube the 3rd week of the month, so that you'll have it at the end of the month so that you can go over the next month. If you join my Patreon, which I will put in a link, then you'll get this stuff by the 15th of every month, along with other stuff that I usually have, which is the calendars and all that jazz. If you would like, my books are open and you can head over to my website. I know that it's pricey and what's it called? Money is tight for everybody. So if you just want to head over to Ko-fi and give me a tip for the thing that I do, that would be greatly appreciated. All of the funds that I get basically go to helping people who can't afford readings, or they end up going to the nonprofit organization that I started, which is for free advocacy for special education. Because yes, my name is Mick Collins, but technically it's Dr. Mick Collins. And writing IEPs, which are individualized education plans, and doing special education advocacy is also something that I am extremely passionate about, and something that I do, and I'm actually pretty darn good at it. So, but that also costs families money, and I need to be able to pay my bills, but I also don't want families who can't afford advocacy to not have advocacy, because they deserve it just as much as the families who have boku bucks. And so that is something that you will see a lot of information about in this year. Anyway, back to 2024. The big events that we have. Mercury has 3 retrogrades this year. The first one is happening in April. It goes from April 1st to the 26th. And then the second one is August 6th through the 29th. And then the last one for the year happens in November. It's November 26th through to December 16th. Okay. It's great because we get all of the Mercury retrogrades over before the holiday even hits us. Okay. It's after, well, I guess it's between Thanksgiving and all of the other holidays that happen in the month of December. But if you are Christian and you celebrate Christmas, I'm not sure when Hanukkah is this year. I need to double check the calendar. But it is at least before the Christian holidays and before the calendar New Year. The other retrograde that we have, Saturn, which is currently in Pisces, that is also going to be doing a heavy duty retrograde. And so that retrograde starts on June 30th and goes until November 16th. The shadow period for that actually starts March 23rd. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is starting March 23rd, you're going to want to start paying attention to the Saturn type themes that are occurring in your life. So is that issues with your boss, with your father figure, with, older people. It can also be with things of structure, goals, like boundaries. So you're going to want to start paying attention to that in March, because you're going to end up going back over those topics from June 30th until November 16th. And then once Saturn goes on November 16th, you're going to hit those topics again until it leaves shadow period. And I don't think it leaves its shadow period until February 18th of 2025. Okay, so these themes that start in March are going to be going all the way through until 2025. Okay, and for those of you who are going through your Saturn return, because you have Saturn in Pisces, just be aware that this is something that is happening. Okay, the next retrograde that we have is Jupiter is going to be going retrograde. That is going to start October 10th, and it's going to go all the way through until February 5th of 2025. Once again, you're going to want to pay attention to the shadow period for that. The shadow period for the Jupiter retrograde starts July 15th. Okay. And then we have the big dust up that's going to be going on, but it doesn't start until December 7th. That is Mars going retrograde. Okay. I have some concerns. And I know that this is going to be like a Debbie Downer type of deal. However, Mars is going to be going retrograde in Leo. Okay. Last summer, when the poop hit the fan, was when Venus went retrograde in Leo. And at that point in time, when Venus went retrograde, Mars was in Venus's sign. Okay. This time around, Mars is going retrograde in the same exact sign that Venus went retrograde. Okay. It is starting, the shadow period starts for that. The day, when does it start? On October 4th is when the shadow period for the Mars retrograde starts. Okay. It hits Leo and enters Leo the day before the United States has its presidential election. Okay. Then we've got the retrograde that starts on December 7th and goes all the way through until February 24th of 2025. And then this shadow period doesn't end for that until well into 2025. Okay. There's just too many coincidences. Okay. So for the shadow period to start on October 4th, and for everything that happened with Palestine to be almost a 1-year anniversary, which was on the 7th. And then we have the US election. I wouldn't be surprised if, like people are saying, the situation that is currently occurring in Palestine is what changes the election. Okay. Also, that Saturn retrograde that's happening between June 30th to November 16th, that being the time period in which we are finding out about the candidates, right? The primaries. That's going to be interesting. Very interesting. We'll be rehashing a lot of things. Because around March is when you start getting all of these candidates, especially on the Republican end, that are going to be showing who they are. Okay. And we're going to be looking at things of that nature. Sorry, I'm hoping that my microphone is picking this up well. So we'll see how that goes. What else? So we have May actually looks really pretty at the end of May. I'm really excited for this because on May 23rd, we have a meetup, a perfect meetup in the sky of Venus and Jupiter in Venus's sign of Taurus. And then later that day, Venus hops over to Gemini. And then the next 2 days later is when Jupiter changes signs and goes into Gemini. So when Jupiter has its retrograde in October, it's in the sign of Gemini. So I will be doing a whole episode about Jupiter in Gemini, what the themes are going to be for that, and what it means for each of the rising signs. Okay. And then we have eclipse season. We have a Libra lunar eclipse, which is on March 25th. We then have an Aries solar eclipse, and that is on April 8th. And then we have a partial Pisces lunar eclipse on September 17th. And then the last eclipse is a solar eclipse in Libra, and that is on October 2nd. So that is pretty much all I've got for 2024. Like I said, I will be coming on with the forecast for January, and then on January 15th, or actually, I lied to you. January 15th, everything will be up on Patreon for you to view. And then by January 25th, which is the Leo full moon, is when I will have February stuff uploaded to YouTube. Okay. And that's how that is going to go. So once again, if you want things early, hop over onto Patreon. If you don't mind waiting, then that's perfectly fine. It'll be here on YouTube for you. If you want to leave a little tip because you appreciate what I do, then you can head over to Ko-fi and drop a tip there, or my Venmo, which I will also put up. And just thank you very much for being here. Know that you're worthy of all the good things that are headed your way. May you be able to keep a roof over your head, money in your bank account, food on your table, and happiness in your soul in 2024. Thanks. Bye.